Listen closely before I freeze all the way through. From the height of my penthouse made of cardboard boxes, I see life differently. I have no future, but yours is still there. If you don't want to be 70 years old fighting pigeons for a crust of bread, remember these 10 things. These aren't tips from smart books. These are survival rules written on the asphalt. Every word here has been paid for with my frostbitten fingers and wasted years. Do you know what the sweetest and most poisonous lie is that you lull yourself to sleep with every night? You sacredly believe that somewhere out there a grown-up world exists that is looking out for you. You believe in social guarantees and the mythical justice of the state, that the pension fund is a real safe with your money in it, and that your relatives would lay down their lives before abandoning you in trouble. Forget it like a nightmare. It is a dangerous illusion that crumbles into dust at the first sign of a serious economic or personal crisis. I am here on this cold concrete precisely because I waited for help for too long. I thought that if I was a good guy, worked hard, and paid my taxes, the world owed me something in return. I waited for the system to work when I tripped. But the world owes you nothing. It won't even notice your absence if you simply evaporate tomorrow. When you find yourself at the very bottom, a terrifying truth emerges. All state aid services are overwhelmed with wretches just like you, and even your closest friends suddenly have their own very important matters that prevent them from looking into your problems. Radical responsibility isn't just a pretty phrase from psychology books. It is the only way not to die in a ditch. It is the understanding that if you are hungry today, that is your problem and no one else's. If you are sick and have no money for medicine, that is your challenge alone. If you are a pauper on the doorstep of old age, it is the direct result of your actions, your fears, or your criminal inaction in the past. Stop looking for people to blame for your misfortunes. As soon as you shift the blame to the government, a thieving boss, the crisis, or an ex-wife, you voluntarily hand them the remote control to your destiny. You officially declare yourself a victim, and a victim has no future. They only have an endless list of complaints and excuses for their worthlessness. Your path to real security begins only at the second you look in the mirror and say, "Everything happening to me is my own doing." This realization is terrifying. You'll want to run from it, but it is the only path to real freedom. If you led yourself into this dead end, then only you, possessing all the information about your mistakes, can get out of it. Don't wait for a hero in shining armor to lift you from your knees. Become that hero yourself, while you still have some ground under your feet and time to fix everything. Family and social ties, your only real insurance policy. Money is the most volatile substance in the universe. It can burn up in a single night. Inflation, default, a failed investment in a hyped project, or simply someone's ill will, and suddenly your millions, which you saved for years, turn into useless digital zeros or candy wrappers. But people are the only asset that not only doesn't depreciate over time, but brings the highest dividends if you invest in them correctly and sincerely. Look at me carefully. I am absolutely alone. I once had dozens of friends. I had loving women. I had loyal colleagues, but I treated them all as expendable material on the way to my petty goals. I proudly called myself a lone wolf, thinking I didn't need anyone, but in reality I was just an egoist with an inflated ego. In the end, when real trouble came and I needed basic support, my phone went silent forever. No one opened a door for me on a rainy night because I had once slammed that door in their faces when they needed me. Your family is not just a group of people you share a surname and genetic code with. They are the only madmen who will put their shoulder under you when you can't even stand on your feet. But any deep relationship requires constant and high-quality maintenance. You can't remember a brother or an old friend only when you have a knife to your throat or when you urgently need a loan. You need to invest your time, your sincere attention, and your soul's warmth now in those moments when everything is going smoothly. Don't harbor petty grudges against your parents. Don't ignore the calls of those who remember you as a child. At 70, you won't care at all what brand your first car was or how many likes your post got, but it will be vital, physically essential for someone to bring you a glass of water or just sit nearby, not for a caregiver's salary, but by the call of their heart. Social isolation in a big city is the shortest and most direct path to the street. A person without strong social ties is absolutely defenseless against the heartless state machine and predators of all kinds. Build your inner circle as if your life depends on every single one of those people. Because one day, believe my experience, that is exactly how it will be. Health, the only capital that can't be bought back. You are currently making the most massive and tragic mistake of humanity. You are fiercely spending your priceless health to earn a stack of cut paper called money. And then, decades later, you will be ready to give away all that accumulated money, and it guaranteed won't be enough to get back even a miserable drop of your former vigor and lack of pain. This is the stupidest and most losing deal in the history of civilization. Here, on the dirty asphalt, health is the only thin thread that separates you from an anonymous grave in the suburbs. If your joints ache, you simply won't be able to hobble to the charity kitchen. If your teeth are rotting, you won't be able to chew even the stale crust you managed to find. Every cigarette you smoke for stress, every sleepless night spent on empty entertainment, every liter of cheap energy drinks or alcohol, these are heavy sledgehammer blows to your biological foundation. At 25, it seems to you that your resource is infinite, that the body is an eternal engine that will forgive any abuse. But the body is a complex machine for which there are no original spare parts in this world. By age 60, all your minor excesses and negligent attitude will come back to haunt you in the form of chronic diagnoses. Constant nagging pain robs a person of the ability not just to work, but even to think clearly and logically. Disability in old age, if you don't have a huge, constantly replenished Swiss bank account, is a 100% guarantee of poverty and oblivion. Take care of your teeth while you have them. Take care of your back. Don't lift weights without need. Protect your liver from toxins. This sounds like a boring lecture from a clinic until you see with your own eyes how people here in the alleys rot alive from trivial colds or minor wounds that they neglected in their youth, believing themselves immortal. Basic exercise and avoiding junk food aren't about magazine covers or beauty. They're about a basic survival strategy. It's about not becoming an infirm burden to yourself and those around you in deep old age. Your body is the only temple you are destined to live in until your last day, so don't turn it into a stinking garbage dump ahead of time through your own stupidity.